Hey guys, it's me, Martin here for another We're Still Here, coming to you live from North Carolina, where I'm at Triad Anime Con, and I'm in between panels at the moment. I'm having some downtime in my hotel room, where I am completely alone, which I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the loneliness, and I don't know. I'm not having a good time. I'm actually really overwhelmed. I've been really overwhelmed. It's Saturday, which is the busiest day for me as both a panelist and a vendor. If you don't know what I do at conventions, obviously I talk about going to conventions a lot. I usually, when I'm a guest, I'm required to attend or host certain panels where I do like either questions and answers, or I do like games and stuff with the attendees, interactive stuff. I'm sorry, I'm wiping my nose a lot just because I've got a bit sniffly. But this particular convention, I mean, this convention isn't that big. This convention's pretty small in the grand scheme of things, and you'd think that I'd be able to handle that. But I don't know, the way I'm feeling lately, I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with... I've talked about it. I've struggled with wanting to be on my own. How I've struggled with socializing. I'm struggling with, even contacting or talking to people I love and care about on a regular basis. And here I'm seeing people I don't know who are looking at me, and they see somebody that, they have certain... They've predetermined how they feel about me. And I'm looking at them and I'm seeing a complete stranger who knows what they think about me. So that's kind of an intimidating situation to be in for me. But, a lot of my duties also at conventions involve selling in the dealer's room, merchandise, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged t-shirts and stuff. And that's a relatively straightforward job, I used to work in retail for a good, I'd say 5 years of my life. I worked in retail, and it was frustrating. I'm sure any of you who have worked retail know that it's one of the most thankless jobs and one of the most stressful jobs that you can have. It's not fun. Nobody strives to work in retail. It's a dead-end job for the most part. And it's not anything anybody aspires to. Nobody wants to, nobody is, as a kid, is like, I really want to sell things that I have absolutely nothing to do with, Nobody's like, I want to sell TVs for a living. That's what I always dreamed I would do. Sometimes it's what you're good at, which is fine. There's nothing shameful in working retail. It's just frustrating and not very fulfilling, for me at least. But doing the selling at conventions is usually a lot more fun, or at least it has been fun in the past for me, because you get to meet people that really are excited to see you. If you work in just a regular retail job, you're meeting people who aren't excited to see you. They don't want to have to deal with, the middleman, the extra, the person behind the cashier's desk being like, well, just let me have my item and I'll pay you and I'll leave, just let's get through this. If anything goes wrong, it's usually, you start blaming them, you're angry at them. You're not ever really that grateful to them for getting you the item that you wanted. You're usually just frustrated with them for even existing. I don't know, maybe that's not everybody's experience with people in retail, but it was my experience. I always felt like I was just sort of, an unnecessary step on the route they were trying to take through the store. But when I'm doing the selling at conventions, it's obviously a different story. People, a lot of the time, don't even want to buy anything from me. They just want to come say hi, which is great. It's a very positive thing that they want to do that, and that means the world to me. And so it's a lot less stressful than the typical retail experience, because they're not there expecting to be frustrated with me, and I'm not expecting, I have no expectations. I'm not there, specifically to work 9 to 5 and just get a paycheck. I'm there because I want to see people, and I want to say hi, and I want to just, talk to them about, what they're doing, and, if they're having a good time at the con. And so it's a much more casual and fun experience for the most part. But this weekend, I've been struggling with it. I won't lie. I've been struggling with it for months, and I say that I haven't been doing conventions a lot recently. I used to two years ago I did a convention every like 2 or 3 weeks, which was insane. But I was able to do it because I had a real drive for it. I was really excited to see new people. Lately, because of the depression, I've wanted to be on my own a lot more. And it's impossible to do here. It's impossible to be on your own at a convention like this. And that's not usually a bad thing. People come to conventions because they want to be, in amongst people that are like-minded and have the same interests. And, that's why they're so great. That's why they exist in the first place. It's a congregation of people who have a very particular set of interests, and they want to share it. And I right now don't want to be part of that, I have to do it because I need to earn money and we need to make a living. And obviously everybody does things they don't want to do, which is why I'm here and which is why I'm doing it. But I feel miserable. I feel like this in the hotel room on my own, talking to a screen, is the most okay I've been all weekend. Is the most, because I have to force myself to be happy in front of people, and I have to force myself to give them a smile and do a line from the show or something, and I have to interact with them like inside I'm not, being like, can I just go somewhere and cry for a good long hour, please, because this is torture. But especially what's been bad for me this weekend has been doing panels, because I feel like I've been letting everybody down. I feel it really strongly, and it's going to be really bad in an hour or two because I have another panel coming up. I'm going to tell you about that. But I did my Q&A, and I had a specific idea for my Q&A, which was I was going to start and do the first half an hour as Marek, which is, if you've not watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which obviously some of you might not have, because these are obviously videos that aren't aimed at the same people necessarily. But Marek is this really flamboyant, silly character that I do from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged that hosts like an evil council meeting every so often, and I thought it would be fun to have just half an hour of the panel be me talking to my evil minions and coming up with ideas as to how to defeat Yugi. And I did that, and that lasted a good 15 minutes before I started to feel like I was... And everyone was laughing, and I was like, this is brilliant. This is going exactly as I hoped. And then 10-15 minutes into it, my mind started telling me, no, this is terrible. What are you doing? You're making a fool out of yourself. These people didn't come here to see this. They came here to actually be informed and entertained, not have some idiot do a stupid voice. And not to mention the fact that the room wasn't air-conditioned, and even the previous panelist had said, this was really difficult to do in such a hot environment. So I was, dancing around doing the Marek voice with a microphone in my hand, and I realized I can't do this for much longer because I'm going to pass out or something because it's so hot. So I dropped the voice, and I just started talking as me, and I just started doing my Q&A, and the mood in the panel room changed. It just became much more somber and serious, and I could tell that I was letting everybody down, that I just had given them something fun and I'd taken it away from them. I'd taken their favorite toy away, and everyone was just like, well, why don't you just go back to being the other guy that we actually enjoyed? So that was a disheartening experience. It was like the worst. I don't know how else to explain it. I could see on people's faces, that before it was laughter, and now it was just like, can we just get this over with? This is boring. Why are you wasting our time? So that's how I felt about that. And that was, I came out of a panel, and I come out of a lot of panels being like, well, that was a terrible panel. My friends will tell you that I often am very hard on myself after my panels, but I could tell that was a disappointing panel for a lot of people. And I don't like disappointing people, because I feel, I can see it, I can feel it in myself when they feel that way, and that's why I do this, and it's why I'm here, and I'm not doing my job, and I'm not doing right by them. And then today, earlier, we had the Voice Duels panel, which I do, which I've taken, I sort of took from Takahata 101 of Team 4-Star. He gave me license to use it if I wanted, where I have people come up on stage and they do the silly voices, impressions, whatever, and we turn it into a little game, and I give prizes out. And I got up there and I was so flustered and I didn't know what I was doing. I felt so confused, confused and discombobulated. You know, I just was like, I was a mess. I was like, I'm supposed to be playing the role of the host, so I can't be. I don't know if I'm supposed to be funny or if I'm supposed to, you know, if I'm just supposed to introduce people. And I kept messing up and I kept getting everything wrong and I kept saying things that I shouldn't have said that just didn't do anything, that didn't mean anything. And people, you know, people laughed and they applauded, but it had nothing to do with me. Which is great, you know. If the people had a good time, that's the important thing. But I could feel in the parts where I was on the microphone and I was, you know, on the stage, that I was just like, people wanted me to go, people wanted me to leave, and I wanted to go and I wanted to leave. I didn't want to do that panel. You know, halfway into it, I was just like, why? No, let's stop this and let's you guys do something that you actually want to do, you know. And that's how that made me feel. And tonight, I have an 18+ panel, and I'm not a huge fan of doing panels for, you know, 18+ audiences, but so many people have requested it that, you know, I kind of caved, and I was like, you know what, if it's what you want to see, it's what you want to do, you want to ask silly, rude questions, then that's, you know, let's do it, let's have a blast. But the thing about the panel tonight is, like, I used to do it based around my Naruto panel, my Naruto show, because obviously with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, it's a more family-friendly kind of affair, and then Naruto Spoof is much more adult and has swearing and violence and language and all that, and I thought it would be appropriate if I was going to theme it after anything. I had my LittleKuriboh 18+ would just be the Naruto Abridged Comedy Fandom Spoof Series show panel, and I used to do it like that, and since recently I've not really done many Naruto videos, so I'm like, you know what, let's just call it LittleKuriboh, you know, After Dark or 18+ or something. But somehow, like, there must have been some miscommunication, so the panel that I'm doing tonight is the Naruto Spoof panel, and I've not prepared anything Naruto related, I've not done anything Naruto related in a long time. And I feel bad about that, but I've tried to keep busy still. You know, I do want to do more Naruto Spoof, but it's just something I haven't really been inspired to do. And so I'm like, a lot of people have come up to me over the weekend and being like, I can't wait to see that Naruto thing you're going to do this weekend. And I'm like, I have to stop them and be like, I don't have anything prepared. I didn't know that it was going to be a Naruto panel, so, you know, I know that when I go in there and I'm gonna sit on the panel. And I'm going to get on the microphone and I'm going to say, I don't have anything, this isn't a Naruto panel, guys, this is just my 18+ panel, and I'm sorry, and I'm very sorry if you expected Naruto stuff, but I don't have anything, I just have me, and I'm sorry if that's not enough, and I know there are going to be people who just immediately stand up and walk out, and I've done so many panels where I've, like, shown a video and then people have all got up and left because that's all they wanted to see. And I know there is going to be a lot of people who just get up and leave when I tell them that this panel is not anything related to Naruto, which is entirely their right, you know. And, like, I understand. I don't blame them for that, because I wouldn't want to sit through a panel that wasn't about Naruto that had been advertised as a Naruto panel, and it's really hard for me after disappointing people on such a grand scale for the last 2 days to know that in 2 hours I'm going to have to go up there and disappoint them again. And I don't like disappointing people. You know, it hurts me to disappoint them. And I'm already overwhelmed with everything that's going on. I'm very upset. But I've got to keep doing it, because if I give up, then that'll be the most disappointing thing of all. And that's what I wanted to say when I started this video, because it was my way of sort of reaffirming and sort of giving myself a confidence boost. And I probably don't seem very confident right now, but I have to do it. I have to go out there and I have to talk to these people, because if I don't, then that's a much worse alternative. Because it's one thing to try and fail. It's one thing to try to succeed and lose. But it's another thing to just stop. It's another thing altogether to just give up and not try. Because it's so obvious, and it's something that, you know, everybody said it. There's that famous Wayne Gretzky quote where it's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But it's true. If you don't try, you will never succeed. And I have to try. And it's just a panel. But they're people, and I don't want to go out there and see them looking like annoyed and upset and frustrated and disappointed in me. But it's something I'm going to have to do. It sucks, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just like, you know, this kind of sucks. You know, talking about this kind of sucks because I'm getting myself all worked up, but I have to do it because I wouldn't want to let you down. So thank you for listening to me. I'm not going to talk much longer because I don't have much more time before the panel, and I'd like to try and get my wits about me and actually, you know, at least be somewhat entertaining. But I just wanted to spend some time and talk about what I'm feeling here right now, because I'm at a pretty low point, you know, for the weekend. I've been at lower points overall the last few weeks, but this is a pretty crappy mood that I'm in. But it's not something that is insurmountable. You know, no matter what feeling I have, it's not something that can defeat me. My feelings can't defeat me. I can defeat me, but my feelings can't, you know. I have to make the choice to stop. And I'm in control of that. So I hope that somehow I turn this panel around and it turns out to be actually somewhat fun for people, but I know it's not going to entertain a lot of people, but I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for listening. It really means a lot to me that you listen. Thank you.